Well, hello again. This particular one is, I've had one or two requests about this. It's all to do with turntables. Now, as you know, there's my turntable over there. And this is what it basically is. This is a spare one that I've got. Normally they are DC. And what I've done is converted it to DCC. And what we have is an ordinary decoder. This is just an ordinary one. Don't have to buy expensive ones, just an ordinary one. And cut the plug off there, and the red and black go to your track power, and the grey and orange go to these two cables, which is your motor. And that's the first part of it. Now then, this part here is fed from those two contacts there. So this is a track coming in here, and the track power is picked up there onto there. It also is by the contacts there. You see here, it connects this track. Now, because all this is DCC and all these tracks are actually fed live, you can't do that. What you've actually got to do is to take out those brass contacts, those copper contacts there and there. Because what will actually happen as this comes round, if this is the positive and this is a positive, of course, if this is the negative, when that one comes and it touches that, it'll short your system out. So you need to take those out totally. Now, another thing is that also is that you've got to remember, mark this rail, say that was the positive, and make sure that when you put these connections in down here, that they all that is going to be the positive as well. Otherwise, as soon as that train goes onto that section, it's going to short it out. So that's the way out. Now then, all turntables are different. This one is actually one of the Hornby ones. Now also, this is where the motor sits in here. There it is in there. And there's a little hut sits on the top there. Now what I've done with mine, I've put a piece of polystyrene block in there to cut the motor sound down, so it's a lot easier. And that's how that one does it. But what you've got here are 14 track connections. If you go onto Railmaster, you'll find there's only 12. There's 3, 6, 9, 12. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. So I like this one here, which is one of my tracks. In the system, in the plan, you can't actually put that up there, so that is why that one sits like that. Now, when it comes to turning this, once you've got it going, what I actually have done with mine, I don't use this. Sometimes the points don't actually connect, sometimes they do. So what I do is I use mine as a train. So what I've actually got here, if I go down here, find it on this system, there's my turntable. There it is, the turntable, there. So what I've actually got there, I've actually got it set up as a loco. As you normally do, set your locos up. Do the same with this. Is what you first have got to do is the two wires on here, the red and black. You connect that to your. Once you've got this connected, connect those two to your track power. Onto your program track. Onto your program track, and then you can set the decoder up to whatever you want it to be. Now, one thing is when you do this, you've got to make sure that it's fully connected. So the orange and grey have got to be connected onto there to the motor. Otherwise, it won't read it. So once you've done that, which is here, the main thing is getting from that point to that point. Now, if you go into Railmaster itself, come out of there a minute, and go to here, which is the INI file, which is here. there is two there, which is the turntable speed and turntable timer. That speed is the speed that it's going round at, but this one here, the timer, is getting from there to there. One thing with this particular one, the Hornby one, is when it gets from there to there, when it gets here, it's got a dwell, which means it'll stop. So if it was going to this one, it'll go for here, stop a couple of seconds, and then it'll move on to that one. And that is like the dwell timing. Now, one thing is that I have with mine over there is I've got mine set up to that, which is 8. Turntable timer is 8, and that one works. Now then, one thing I have, just come out of there, is, as you know, I tell my trains to do everything I want to do, and I can do that with the turntable as well. And the thing is when you're talking to people, say, I talk to my trains, they think you're getting loopy. But that's the way I work with mine. All my railway works by talking to it. My new one, which is my Great Western one there, I've had to revamp a lot of the function names so that I can actually talk to it. So in actual fact, by using the turntable like this, I've actually got the shunt at 15. I only use a shunt, it's a nice speed. So all I've got to do with this is put it into forward, press the shunt, and you'll see it move to that one. When it gets to the dwell, which is there now, I just press the stop and it's done. And I can do that this way round by doing it by this, or I can do it by voice. So all I do is say turntable, and it'll come up with turntable, and I say forward or reverse, and then I just say speed 15 because that's what the shunt is. And then when it gets to where the dwell is, all I say is speed 0, and the train stops wherever it is. Now then, that's one way of doing it, but another one is what I've done with mine. You can only do this with Pro, mind you. What I've done is I've actually programmed each one of those tracks there from that one there. So if I actually go back up to that one there and go in reverse and click the shunt, which I'm going to do now, watch, get ready for the stop. When it goes back to the dwell on that, that's it, I just press the stop, and that's where it is. Now then, what I've done a program for each one of these tracks from where it is coming off the back of the track there onto the turntable. So if I bring a train across here, all I have to do with mine is press any one of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it does it. And the way you do that is, first of all, as you do with programming a train, you can do that with this one. So all I've got to do with this is click this, and it says, do I want to do such a thing? And you do that. And what it does now is, all I've got to do now is press that, wait for it to come to the end of where it's got to go, which is there, stop it, and that is it. So all we do now is go up to here, click that, and it says, would you like to review it? And what it actually does is it gives you that, and that is the timing of the train, what you've just done. All you do is then is right in there. So I've done there is main to 1, whichever the case may be, and that does that. So, or I could do it up here. So if I was in here, down here are all these tracks as I've done. Where are they? They are track 5, track 4, track 3, track 4. They're all sitting there, and I just press that and it works perfectly. So what I'll do is just bring this turntable back again. I'll just show you how that works. So that's back into its normal position. So all I have to do with this is if I want to go to this track here, all I have to do is press number 4 there, and that should now, see what I mean by the dwell? There's the dwell. And it's going to the second one. It's nice time. I've got this set to a nice timing. You think, oh, you don't want it to speed, and also is that the more speed you give it, the more noise that motor's going to give. Here it comes. There's the next one, and now it's just going to the next one, and that should be dead then. So that does that one. Now what I've actually done, because a lot of my trains I'm running are going to be in here, what I've also done is I've actually done it in reverse. If I want to do it from one of these other tracks, I've got to put some more numbers in. So if I just press 7 there, that will now come back to the main track. And say I do this by voice, I just say forward, reverse, speed 15, and then when it gets to the dwell like that, I just say speed 0 and it stops. I've just done this on the screen just for demo more than anything else. I can leave them on. It's got one more and then it should stop. That's it, it's now stopped. So how I get these on my track plan, first of all go to my track plan, find my track plan, which is there. Let's move this over a little bit. So what I do is, first of all, I go to here and there's a cog. So I get the cog like that, and then I drag it across here, and we can put it, we say there, and then right click and it gives you this, and I can say, well, the program I've just run, I can go from like 3 to main, put that in there, and then on here I can either put numbers, I can put what I want in there. I've got all those in there to go, and then what happens is when it just take that out to just show you, and that is how all my ones are done on there. So it's quite easy to do, but you can only do this part in Pro. And say if I do it by this thing, it doesn't work. So I never use that. I use the way I've just shown you by using the Loco basically. Now then, one thing also is if you notice on my track plan, just go back here, is down here are these. These are point, like these are the red and green point motor switches, but what I've actually got is sitting under there's a special Train Tech special effects decoder, which has got 4 particular items it runs. One is a little boy here with a camera, the other one is the police box, the other one is the van there, and the other one is arc welding in the shed. Now I've actually made a little program for them, which is this. First of all, when you turn it on, you've got to do another one for turn it off. So what I've actually done, I can now, by this, I can click on that, and there's a little van going there. I can actually then turn it off like that. I can do this one, which is the little police box going, and turn it off again. So I can do any one of those 4 like that. It saves me scrolling. If you look at this, my program list here. Look at this lot. Loads and loads and loads of stuff, and then trying to hunt for the stuff in there take me all day basically. So what I actually do is I just use these now. Also is this one here. In fact, this is another one I've done, which is another train announcement.
The train now standing at platform 1 is the Devon Bell service. Please ensure you keep your belongings with you at all times.
All these are train announcements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Them are all different announcements for different types of trains I've got. And then this one here in the middle is actually now the GWR. This is the little program I showed you in the last one which I did. I haven't altered it at all at the moment. I need to do some modifications on it, but so this is there's the light coming on. Goes off. Now the train should move off and do its little program. Now what I can actually do with that now is actually can do this and turn it off. The train will still keep running as it is now because I've stopped the program, and all I've got to do is just do this and I'll stop the train here. That's it. So that is some new stuff I've done. I have been doing this last week. I've been very busy with different people. I've done one where I've actually online moved Railmaster from one PC to another PC. Did make a little mistake because the fact that you have to remember when you deactivate it, if you've got Pro, you've got to get that deactivated as well. Otherwise you won't get Pro back in again. And that's the thing I'm waiting for now, is waiting for Railmaster on this chap's machine to give us the reset on it, and then we'll put it back in again. So that is, let's turn that off out of the way then. So that's basically is what I have to do. I've done E-links. I've got another one which has gone 40, which I've just dealt with a bloke. But as I say, I've been doing this all over the world, in Australia, in Dubai, everywhere. I actually went out to a chap the other day, and actually it's only a few miles away, so it wasn't too bad. And what he'd done is like down here, you got a crossover here and you got another crossover here, and because these decoders which I use, which are the TrainTech ones, which are brilliant, absolutely brilliant, he's coded the second decoder with a 1 as well. So when he switched these, this one was turning some other points. You can't do that. The first one is like 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one is 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Now, as I've said, I do this for anybody. I don't charge. Let's get that straight. I don't charge. I do this for fun. I love doing this. So if anybody's got any problems, just give me a call on 01782 302194. I'm usually always here, day and night. So don't be afraid to call me, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.